We're going to be concentrating on doing pails and rails for your hamstring. We're going to be using a box and 2 sticks, but you can also use a squat rack to hold on because it's more stable, and just put the box between the squat rack, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 sticks and I'm going to take my leg and put it on top. When I'm in this position, I'm going to start feeling a stretch through my hamstrings. What we don't want to do, we don't want to lock the knee and feel it right behind the knee. We want to have a slight bend. Also, as you're figuring out what portion of the hamstring is tight, you can rotate in, out to figure out what line of tension bothers you the most. So for some, maybe externally rotating is going to create a tension. For some, maybe in the middle. For others, maybe if you rotate more internally, you feel bigger stretch on your hamstring. So you figure out first by playing around to figure out where's the line of tension. Then what we're going to do is when we get into this position, we don't want to be round up like this. So for some of you, if you're really, really tight, you might have to have a little bit bigger bend. But what we want to focus on, we want to make sure that we anteriorly tilt the pelvis. So anteriorly tilt the pelvis and drive the hip back. So for me, I'm going to straighten out my leg a little bit more, just very small bend, and I'm driving the hip back actively, and I'm just holding on for the balance. For some of you, if you have really good balance, you won't need the sticks whatsoever, but in the beginning, I suggest to use it, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to stay in this position for 2 minutes. We're going to feel the stretch through the hamstring. We're actively driving the pelvis back, but we're not creating any extra tension. We're going to be concentrating on parasympathetic breathing, meaning we do a 4 count inhale and 8 count exhale to make sure that we really slow down the breathing and allow the muscle to relax more, okay? After the 2 minutes of being in this position, what I want you to do is start ramping up the tension and actively drive the heel into the ground, concentrating on the PAILs contraction. What we're gonna do, we're gonna trap the air into the stomach, okay? We're gonna tense up the rest of the body, and then we're gonna start ramping up 20, 40, 60, 80, and we're actively gonna drive the heel down while I'm squeezing the quad, while anteriorly rotating the pelvis. We're gonna stay in this position for 8 to 10 seconds. After those 8 to 10 seconds, what you're gonna do, you're gonna do regressive contraction. You're gonna squeeze all the musculature on the front, and you're gonna try to actively lift the leg. So we're gonna be right here, and I'm gonna lift as high as I can while trying to maintaining as neutral spine as possible and anteriorly tilting the pelvis. We'll do it for 8 to 10 seconds. Very similarly, we'll ramp up 20, 40, 60, 80, stay for 100% of voluntary contraction, then we'll put it down. When we put it down, we stay in this position. We'll just stay for about 20 to 40 seconds. The newly acquired range, for some of you, you might be able to go a little bit further. Still anterior pelvic tilt, just breathing. And then we're gonna repeat 2 more times, driving down actively, and then pushing the sticks into the ground and lifting the leg. And you're gonna feel that your quad is cramping, your hip flexors are cramping, and then it's gonna feel very, very uncomfortable. Whenever you perform pails and rails, it should not feel comfortable. You're working at the maximum voluntary contraction in the safest manner, trying to improve the quality of the tissue on a progressive and regressive side. So this is what pails and rails standing looks like for your hamstrings. And remember, try to focus on a neutral spine, anterior pelvic tilt, and do not lock out the knee, because when you lock out the knee, it switches more onto your tendons. We want to feel it more in the belly of the muscle. So have a slight bend and challenge yourself with every single repetition of the pails rails sequence. Hope that helps. Enjoy your day.